Hi, this is a somewhat impressionistic update of things for me and where I've been going and what I've been doing. Um, we've been continuing our path with exploring Satanism, though I think, at base still very strongly Thelemic. The influence of Aleister Crowley has been very strong on me, as has the influence of Austin Osman Spare and to some extent Kenneth Grant. Um, Now, I've been exploring a number of things really over the months and finding a deeper and deeper connection with the goddess Babylon and what she means to me in terms of sexuality and self-realization has been very important to me. Though it is also, of course, I think somewhat different for a man. Uh, I'm a gay man, so I'm homosexual. It's probably not the same. Well, it definitely isn't the same as it would be for a straight man. My sexuality just works on a different current in a sense. And sexuality is important to Thelema, and it's important to Babylon, I feel. Um, but I've found more and more meaning in the goddess Babylon, and also, though it's quite a troublesome association, also with the associations of Lilith. Um, not necessarily the historical Lilith, which is a very difficult thing to actually determine, and not the Lilith demons, of ancient Near Eastern mythology and folklore. Um, but looking at things like the Black Moon Lilith in astrology, I found that very, very important to me. It actually shows up in my chart as well. It shows up quite strongly in my chart. Um, and it's very much linked in with the position of the feminine for me, and the feminine for me internally as well. So it's an important stream for me. Black Moon Lilith, for those who don't know, astrologically, is basically a point. It's a point in space, and it's a point in space which is calculated mathematically. Essentially, the moon orbits the Earth, but because the moon doesn't orbit the Earth in a perfect circle, it orbits it in an ellipse. That means that it has two foci to it, rather than just one as a perfect circle would. So if the moon were orbiting the Earth in a perfect circle, there would just be one focus, and it would be the Earth, or the center of the Earth. Now, as it's not a circle, it actually orbits in an ellipse. That means there are two foci. The Earth forms one focus, and the other focus that the moon revolves around to make this ellipse is a point in space. And that point in space is Black Moon Lilith, which I've in the past referred to as an imaginary Earth. And I think it's a very interesting point, because it's, in a sense, it's linked to all that can't exactly be. It's an otherwise Earth. It's a negated Earth. So you can see why it would be linked to the story of the demoness. Yeah, and I think it's a very, very interesting point. It's a very, very interesting principle, and it's of value to me. So I've been finding that my life has been in flux, in a sense, between the figure of Babylon and similar, what you might call red goddesses, such as Freya, who are Venusian and highly associated with sexuality and magic. between the red goddesses and Lilith, or this sort of like Lilith-like figure, which is quite different. I actually think Lilith has a very strong association with transgenderism as well. That seems to be borne out to me by the way she's come into modern consciousness in certain ways, in the pagan community certainly. Um, so that's one thing anyway. It's Babylon and Lilith, and those have been very interesting to me. And I've had to find over this last year my inner self-worth and my a part of a kind of inner core in a sense, but my inner self-worth as what and who I am, but most especially as what I am, which is outwardly it's a homosexual man. But I'd have to say that when I'm in love, and when I am loving, I have no sense of gender whatsoever. I really don't. And the place of the feminine, or what we call the feminine, is extremely important to me. It's extremely important in my functioning and my self-worth, and in a sense that's part of where my strength lies. Because well, it doesn't lie in conventional masculinity for me, though I love conventional masculinity. I really adore it. But it doesn't lie in that for me. Something in me is too broken open for that. It's too over the bounds. It's too out there. It's too otherworldly. So there's that sense of not having any place in this world. And my function, it's difficult to find my function in this world, though I know I have it. But there's this sense of that sense of not having a place in the world. Also, it links in with Lilith, it links in with the demoness, it links in with the one who wasn't allowed here. So these are all quite interesting things for me, and I've been trying to trace out this thing about this figure that I'm calling Lilith. And if Babylon and Freya are red goddesses, Lilith I would term a violet goddess, something like that. And red and violet are the two ends of the spectrum. Between those two, if you mix red and violet, you get a color that's something like magenta or something like that. It's not a natural color really, and actually the thing is, it's actually invisible. The space between red and violet is one that we draw theoretically when we draw the spectrum as a circle, but in fact what they represent is the outer limits of natural sight. So anything that's beyond red, just picking up again, so anything that's beyond red and beyond violet is actually beyond natural sight. It's in the realm of the invisible, and is linked in some sense to extrasensory perception, to second sight, to the sixth sense, to the transcendence of time and space, and to the workings of magic. And I see this as actually very relevant here. I see it as being relevant to New Aeon magic, which is very much concerned with the Leo Aquarius axis. I see this kind of quality as being very Aquarian. I see it as being very Aquarian, very alien in a sense, but also very magical, very new, very innovative. And it's to do with working with time as well, working with time and multiple realities and that sort of thing. You have to be very, very well founded in your own individuality to be able to do this, yeah. And this is also where the Leo end of it, which is also the Babylon end of it comes in, Babylon and the Beast, because you have to go to the very deepest level of desire, the very deepest core of desire, to find that part of yourself which can call upon this. Now, as I was thinking about all this stuff, I was looking for various things I could use to sort of poetically and artistically explore this. And what I did was I used the High Priestess Tarot card as found in the Rider-Waite Coleman Smith deck. And I was playing with this and shifting it about electronically, and I ended up shifting the blues to like violet purple colors and other colors to magentas, and finding a lot of things and reversing other things out. And I realized that what I was actually picturing was something which was actually on the other side of the path of Gimel, on the other side of the High Priestess, and on the other side of the path of Gimel, which traverses the abyss. And then I realized this has some sort of connection with the sphere of Darth, and also I think with the other side of the Tree of Life, and with the Clithoth, which I need to do a lot more study on and to understand better, but this is something which has also come up for me. So I'm looking into these things. I'm still looking into things to do with goetic demons. I'm still, well, I'm looking into this stuff really, so I want to do a lot more study now on the Clithoth and the reverse of the Tree of Life, and see where this comes in, because it's very important. It's very important. And that's about where I'm at really. But it's very good. I'm very glad to be where I am. Very grateful to be where I am. I've sure had to do a lot of delving into myself and being thrown into myself this last year, and this is what's coming through now, which I'm very happy to find. So that's my update, and I hope you're all doing very well, and thanks for watching.